often misinterpret how others are feeling. Like, I can't always tell if someone is only joking or laughing at me. If they're mad at something I've done or just in a bad mood. It's incredibly stressful.
What's up, guys? So originally I was going to go through like the entire history and the entire process for how I learned these rules for socializing with autism, but I realized that would make for a very boring video because I would basically just be going through a series of repeated failures. So I decided just to sum everything up under 5 different basic rules. Now my rules have been expanding and further solidifying ever since I got out of the Navy, because originally I learned how to socialize by going to bars and clubs and just through working. So they weren't very durable. And people would assume I was a very good communicator, but outside of those areas, I was really lost in many aspects. And so now that I'm, living by myself in Tokyo, I've really solidified everything, and I feel like I have a better grasp of, how everything works. The funny thing is, as I was writing this, I realized that these rules can apply to pretty much anybody, but I geared them towards people that are on the spectrum. So here are some basic rules that can help you make it through most social situations. And in a big way, they just consist of embracing autism as opposed to fighting against it.
Well, first they tore my arms off, and they threw them over there.
Now, a basic rule with people is if you can make somebody laugh,
I'll have to ask my accountant about that.
people will like you.
And I can't deny the fact that you like me. Right now, you like me.
Now, obviously, with autism, it can be hard to communicate with people in a way that will make them laugh.
Here I come.
But that's why this rule is number 1, because it will likely take the longest to develop. A lot of the time, if I'm in a social situation and I don't know how to act, I will make jokes.
I always think performers don't get nervous.
Not at all, really. I don't. Oh, God. Not really. Not me. No way.
Granted, this can be kind of awkward sometimes, but after time, people can just kind of learn what to expect with you. Now, this is kind of specific, but a common trait or a trait that can be seen in a lot of people with autism is that we can sometimes make really odd connections, and this can be very good for, creating humor where there may have not been humor otherwise.
See, you know how to take the reservation, you just don't know how to hold the reservation. And that's really the most important part of the reservation, the holding. Anybody can just take them.
Or, a lot of times we'll speak in a very deadpan manner.
Called the wrong number today. I said, hello, is Joey there? And a woman answered. She said, yes, he is. I said, can I speak to him, please? She said, no, he can't talk right now. He's only 2 months old. I said, all right, I'll wait.
And, since we already do this, we can use it and utilize it in a way that'll make people laugh. And, we can watch comedians. I mean, this is a very specific example, but, watch comedy, watch what people respond to, learn what makes people laugh. And, if you have to, you can copy it. Because, it's all just about getting in there and learning, because the more you socialize, the more you learn about how to socialize. And it becomes, a growing process. And I know for me, that's why I'm saying with, if you choose a subject like comedians, I know for me, I can get very deep into a subject if I'm really into it. So that could be a very good, technique for learning how to make people laugh. And then it could just come down to, just embracing your awkwardness and just learning how to use it to make people laugh. Make goofy faces, say weird things, be unabashedly you. And sometimes just being yourself can be enough to make people laugh.
I'm waiting for a quote. I didn't do it.
Now, most people act differently towards different people, but since so many of us on the spectrum have trouble relating to and understanding people, and understanding, the status quo, this can actually give us the upper hand in certain situations. If people see you treating a homeless person the same as you treat somebody that's a CEO of a company, they will see you as more genuine. But on the same note, I know it's natural for a lot of us, if we get interested in people, we may show too much interest, and that can be very off-putting for people.
Not obsessing, just curious.
When it comes to situations like that, it may be good to, feign a little bit of apathy.
Dear diary, mood apathetic.
Or indifference, because it also kind of pulls people in if they feel like you're not that interested in them because they want to make you interested. Now I'm not trying to go into the realm of being a pickup artist. I'm just using that as a general example. And this is a skill that takes a long time to develop.
Y'all got skills?
Because sometimes people may just think you're being a jerk, and you don't want to be a jerk.
You're a jerk. I know.
On the same train of thought, though, it also, in certain situations, it's good to show people that you are overly interested in them because, people like it when you're interested in them. So it takes a long time, and it can be kind of sophisticated, figuring out in what situations to, how to act this way. Now, being too polite, what I mean by this is I know it can be kind of hard to read, social situations when you're on the spectrum. So a good rule of thumb is to be more polite than you should be in every situation. And normally the only type of people that are really going to view this in a negative light are the type of people you don't want to be around anyway. Now, you can tone this down once you get more experience with dealing with situations, but it's just a really good starting point. So treat everybody like they're your boss and you're trying to get a promotion at work.
He must have had on some really nice pants.
Hold the door for people. Apologize if you show up late. Always be early. Make it a point to always be early so you never are late. Shake people's hands. Say excuse me. Compliment people about things they may not even realize about themselves. Tell a girl that her hair looks nice. Tell your friend that he's one of the most intelligent people you know. And be as blunt as you can about it, because there's no better compliment than the one that you do not expect. Now, a lot of this is just basic respect, but this can put you above a lot of people because people these days aren't really always that respectful. Now, granted, that's been a fact throughout history, but I'm trying to be, modern hipster 2018 SJW Nita.
Long before he became president, Lincoln's friends and acquaintances called him Honest Abe.
Now, always be honest. This is a lesson I had to learn over time. I tend to put people in categories in my mind to make it easier for me to understand them, and it can be devastating for me to realize that they're not who I perceive them to be. Therefore, it is helpful to be honest in every single situation. For instance, I suck at flirting.
Hey, you from out of town?
How you doing, princess?
You have a local number?
So I just say exactly what my intentions are. That way I can get a direct answer. No ambiguity. Granted, try not to be too honest.
You had me in much easier.
Be honest in a way that is effectful without being hurtful. A lot of people mistake being honest with being a bully. Basically, it's good to learn to tactfully say as few negative truths as possible and try to outweigh them with the positive truths.
Why don't you like me? You're a and I like you.
Now, last but not least, be your weird self. Almost all the difficulties I've had in my life have been due to me being forced to be somebody that I'm not, or me trying to force myself to be somebody that I want to be, but am not. Wear the same clothes every day. Say stupid jokes. Say weird jokes. Talk to people about your favorite episodes of Degrassi: The Next Generation.
A homie is a player, and that is all. So why'd you have to go and kick it?
And Boy Meets World. For the sheer fact that they are the two greatest shows in the history of TV, and anybody that disagrees with you is wrong. That was me joking, but it is true. Granted, with all this said, it is still necessary to find a way that you can be productive in the world, find your place in the world in a way that you can add something to it. And utilize your own unique attributes, don't try to fight against them. For me, it's making YouTube videos and making music. I'm trying to make something useful out of my experiences. For somebody else, it might be, writing a blog about anime or getting into a STEM field or programming. There's so many different avenues in the world. And as they say with autism, if you've met one autistic person, you've met one autistic person. We're all different. People with autism are not bad. We're just different. And that's important to remember. Now, those are my 5 rules. Hopefully they made sense. Hopefully some people can find some value in them. If they don't make sense and they don't have any value, either let me know or, tell me that I'm completely wrong, you know, leave a mean comment like I always say. I'm open for anything. And like I always say, if you have a request for a video, please ask a question. Hopefully it'll get to the point that I'm getting so many comments that I'm having to, you know, have people vote for videos, but I'm just not that popular right now. But that's pretty much all I want to say with this video. So as always, if you like my video, subscribe. If you like my music, buy it. And if you hate me, tell everybody. Out.
Pizza boy pizza. Pizza for pizza. Pizza bonita. Pizza bonita.